Thank you for tuning in to this week's WorthWhile Spotlight. Before we get started, I want to give a huge shout out to our sponsor, Visit Columbia. Check out their website at visitcolumbiatn.com to learn about all things Columbia. Their website features local artists, local businesses, and local events, so check them out and visit Columbia.
Can't believe we're finally here.
Yeah. Well, everyone, thanks for tuning in for this week's WorthWhile Spotlight. Our guest today is Jordan Weidle. My guy, how are you?
What's up, man? Long time no see.
Hey, how's it been? It's been
probably like 14 days, but
okay, yeah. It's fine. But bro, how you been? Thanks for coming.
Dude, I've been good, man. I've just been living, adjusting to this fast-paced world. It's constantly changing, but, I've been good, man.
You've recently, started your own business, and not recently.
Yeah, it's fairly new, man.
Okay.
I mean, I started this thing, I want to say last September, so it's still very fresh,
Nice. Well, tell everyone what it is and what you do. I'm going to dive into some stuff.
Yeah, man. So my name is Jordan Weidle. I'm a home inspector in the, Middle Tennessee area. I mostly focus on Franklin, if you put a pin on it, and then 60-mile radius from there. But I perform residential inspections all the way up to quadplex inspections. And I'm just focusing on home maintenance things right now. And as of today, Next Generation is just a home inspection company, but, future in the lines, I want to turn it into something that's more of a hub for all, young entrepreneurs or people just needing a group of people of influence to start a business or whatever the case may be,
Nice. And that's hence the name, Next Gen.
Yeah, Next Gen, man. That's where, when I started it, I was going to go with top tier inspections, but I didn't want to just put myself in a box of home inspections. I wanted this company to be able to grow into anything it wants to be. So that's why I ended up with Next Generation.
Nice. I know you're going to make it happen too. I could just tell from your mindset from when we talked a couple weeks ago. I mean, I didn't know, obviously I knew you were in home inspections, but I didn't know your mindset as far as helping people and inspiring the next generation.
Yeah.
Did you have those thoughts before starting home inspection, or was it?
Yeah, it's for me personally, on Christmas, I had more joy in giving someone something they really wanted versus getting something I really wanted. So it's always been a thing of mine just to be in the act of service, and that's just starting the home inspection thing. I don't have any prior history to home inspections or anything really building related, but I just looked into it one day off an Instagram ad, and I was like, well, okay, this kind of aligns, because I do love architecture, but it was more so just helping someone through a very stressful situation. Buying a house is probably one of the biggest investments someone will make, so just those two meshing together, it really resonated with me. So
that's beautiful. Did the wanting to help more generations come at the same time, or was it where'd the inspiration for starting the business come from? Because obviously there was a flip or switch of I want to start my own business. What was that like?
So with that, man, honestly, I knew I always wanted to kind of be a chief more so than an Indian, and I wanted to have more say-so in what goes on. And after I did all my certifications and my state exams, I had the opportunity to join another company, but I was like, man, I want to do more than just be a part of something. I want to build something, that people can be a part of. So, that's kind of really what that happened. And I'll be honest, man, I'm kind of just walking in the dark, I didn't have this 10-year plan or nothing. It's just a feeling that happened, and I just ran with it, man,
Would you say that's your intuition?
Yeah, I guess you could say that, man. It really, it feels like it though, really, and then the more that I go, the more more ideas I have, and the more it feels good, and I'm just really riding with the wave, who knows, 5 years from now, I may decide, I don't want to do this anymore, but I'm a firm believer in gut feelings and stuff, and this is just one of them that I'm having, and I've had it for a while, so.
You said you feel like you're walking in the dark, but I feel like the only way you can be found is to be lost.
Yeah,
so,
man.
I mean, not saying you're lost.
No, I get where you're coming from, for sure.
You're on the go every day is a new day. You're learning every day. You're applying the experience. You're learning every day, and it's just internally stepping up and then externally growing at the same time.
Yeah, man, it's cool. It's this Next Generation has led me to WorthWhile. My company has a lot of common traits as yours, and what really brought me to my attention to you was your podcast with Goon.
Okay.
They're a clothing brand as well, and it's like really cool, man, because it's like you get it, like you're trying to build the biggest building in town, but you're not doing it by destroying other people's, you know what I mean? And it's like that really, I got a lot of respect for you for that. So it's like, it's cool, like being able to build something, because you're gonna run across people in different, like you're a clothing brand, I'm a home inspection company. What are we doing here? You know what I mean? Like, but it's just the common goals that we have, and ways of getting there.
The mindset
that really brings us together. So it's really cool.
That's awesome. What do you think as far as like, I mean, obviously, how long has it been now? You said September?
We're what? So we got a couple more months to a full year, I guess. So yeah, we're almost a full year in. I'll tell you though, dude, like the first 4 months, I was afraid to even let someone know that I provide a service. You know what I mean? And it was like, it was so hard for me to have that confidence to, even ask, like say, hey, this is how much it's going to cost.
Yeah.
I mean, I was afraid to even ask, I was wanting to do everything for free. And like, it's just, that's part of the process that I want to branch Next Generation off with, is basically a hub for everyone going through that initial startup. You know what I mean? Because that's, for me, I have a long way to go, but that was scary, dude. You know what I mean? I didn't even know what a bookkeeper was. I didn't know all these things that come into play, and it was just so much anxiety that built up from it, because it was like I didn't know what was next or what I needed to do.
How'd you keep going? What was the...
It's just like, not forgetting why you started. You know what I mean? It's not losing that touch of, I have a goal in mind. This is what I want to do with it. So it's like doing a disservice to yourself and to the people that you're trying to impact by quitting just because of, a fork in the road or an unknown trail that you got to travel. You know what I mean?
And then that even goes hand in hand with like inspiring, other people, younger or older. I mean, like if you stop, then it's like, you can't say that it's like, oh yeah, well, I started one, but then I stopped. I mean, there's things that happen, like you switch angles, switch views, and like maybe you get into something different. But like if you just stop because you're stopping.
Right, exactly.
Like, that's different. But I commend you, bro. Because how old are you?
I'm 24.
24.
Yeah, I started the company 23, and I'm starting to see some good progress now, and It's definitely hasn't been a smooth sail though, you know what I mean? And that's what I want. That's why I wanted to be on here and let people know it's like, it's not been the easiest process. I'm not someone that's just so confident, and I go through these things too, like even being here, dude. I was nervous as hell getting on here, but it's like
right now?
I'm getting a little bit, I'm loosening up a little bit, but no, like, you're gonna have to do things that don't feel comfortable, or your brain's gonna tell you like, let's just tell them we gotta reschedule or keep putting it off. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm hoping that like with my little brothers and the community that I do be a part of, they can see that and they can, take that internally too. Like, okay, you know what? It's not such a bad thing just because I'm scared. You know what I mean? Like everyone's scared at first. Like it's a process that you got to get through, and it will yield beautiful results at the end.
100%. It's a cliche phrase, you hear it all the time, but like uncomfortability equals growth.
It does, dude. It really does, man. I've sat down with some really, high class people, and put myself in rooms that I didn't think I belonged in, but just having that, belief in yourself and having those, those uncomfortable actions, I want to say, like doing things that make you uncomfortable gains that confidence, and like, okay, you know what, I do deserve to be here. I do deserve to, say, hey, this is how much it's going to cost and stuff like that,
What was a couple of the ones that stick in your head about uncomfortable moments? Was it maybe talking to people like
I joined this networking club. It was full of realtors and investors, and one of the most uncomfortable moments was I had at the beginning of all of them, every time they have everyone stand up. What do you do? What do you provide? Where's your area? And man, I was sweating bullets. Like I was like, dude, I'm probably just gonna walk out. You know what I mean? Like it was so scary. But after I stood up and I just introduced myself, I cracked a little joke, and it's like I got a good reaction out of it. I was like, oh, okay, this is cool. Like it's not so scary that your mind makes it out to be. You know what I mean? Because I feel like our minds will try to talk us out of a lot of things,
definitely.
Good or bad, not just bad things. So
Where do you think that stems from? Not just in you, but in general of like
Fear of the unknown, man. Like
True.
it's hard to have faith in something you can't see, and you know it takes a lot of like internal power to push yourself through that. You know what I mean?
And then, like you said, once you do, you're like,
Yeah.
it wasn't as bad, and it was
Yeah.
kind of fulfilling.
You got to think though, everyone doesn't have like a supportive background. You know what I mean? Not everyone has parents who are saying, "Go do it, go do it, go do it." You know, some people are like have the scarcity parents are like, just get a 9 to 5, save your money, and like taking those leaps of faith is like not very. It's foreign to them. You know what I mean? So it's like that was kind of my situation growing up. You know, we had a hard time in the beginning, and it wasn't a place of discouragement from them. They didn't want me to bottom out. Because starting a business, more small businesses fail than they do succeed.
100%.
And it's just the real the stats of them. So it's like it's that leap of faith that really is going to help you determine. Because me personally, I would rather try and fail than never try at all and wonder like, man, what could this have been? You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. That's wild. I mean, where do you think you lie on the scale of like encouragement from parents and then internal, like, this is what I'm going to do in life?
Right, yeah. I will say that my mom is a big fan for sure, and she's helped me through a lot of things, but it's more, I gotta be honest, it's more, my initial push to this, and I'm a big leader in our family, you know what I mean? I'm being on TikTok and all this stuff and using social media, like not the fear of judge, because I have 3 younger brothers. I have 2 younger brothers, 1 younger sister, and I know they're watching, you know what I mean? I know they're like kind of watching me and seeing how it plays out, so it's like that motivation too, you know what I mean? It's not just me motivating, I know I have people that are like hoping I succeed, and I know they're like trying to kind of use what I do and try to, leverage off of it and do their own thing, so.
You trying to be the best you that you can be, in that will, just naturally inspire them to be like, man,
right.
look at my family, that's my
brother.
brother.
Yeah, that's my own brother, and it's a lot more like motivating, because it's like, that's my blood brother, you know what I mean? Like it's we see Logan Paul and all of them, and that's cool because they did it, but like it's a lot more influencing when it's coming from your direct family. It's like, cause like, man, my brother, I know how goofy this man is, you know what I mean? He walks around doing goofy stuff all day. He's just a normal guy, so I know that cause that's my thing, was like just being on this podcast, and I thought like I had to be somebody like super important and all, you know what I mean? Like, and I would put this on a pedestal. But the reality is, everyone's a normal human. We all bleed the same way, like anybody can do this. And that's something that's a big message that I want to bring to my future community.
You, on the way here, like prior to thinking about the podcast, because this is your first thing ever.
First ever podcast, man.
Was on the way here, do you think that your mind was like, I need to be next gen Jordan? Or were you kind of like battling?
So it was like, I was trying to think, I'm like, what type of person do I need to be, like what type of character I need to be, and that's when I was just told myself, I was like, dude, just be you, you know what I mean? Like, I'm the reason why, we had this relationship, because I was being me. I wasn't being somebody that I thought that you would connect with. I was just being Jordan, and it just, it meshed well, and that's how I found relationships have been built, because, that's actually great you brought that up, because it's like, meeting with these realtors and stuff, given that I'm younger, I feel almost out of place. You know what I mean? I feel like I have to catch up with them or something, or resonate to their level more, but I've gotten more reaction out of just being who I am as a person, and being genuine, authentic, versus like, trying to be Mr. Professional Inspector. You know what I mean? Like, it didn't work out as well. They saw right through me, but I just being me and just being my true self has been able to easier to connect with people, and I've gotten more phone calls because of that,
I mean, people pick up on that. I mean,
Yeah.
like, it's like when you meet somebody, it's like the fake laugh stuff,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? Like when like someone cuts a joke and like it's the, like,
Yeah,
the fake
yeah, you can
like
tell.
people can pick up on that stuff, and
Yeah.
the same thing with being yourself.
Yeah.
Like if you're 100% authentically you, or if you're trying to be somebody else, like, you can just tell. I don't know.
Yeah, and that's what I really like about WorthWhile is because you're promoting that, and that's so important. Even the people that don't want to be a businessman or whatever the case may be, whatever they're doing, you're gonna get the best results from just being you as the person. Not trying to fit into some mold that you think was to be in that role. You know what I mean? Like football players, a lot. The one I like the most is I like Tyreek Hill, because he's business, but he has fun. He's on TikTok. He's not consumed by his role.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Taking advantage of all the avenues that
man.
he can.
He games. He's dancing. He's having a good time. He's not just strictly a football player.
There's another. So he does game.
Yeah, I think he does. Okay. Yeah,
that's what I was gonna bring up. There's another guy that I can't remember. If you said his name, and I would know, but he got a huge following off live streaming on Twitch and stuff, and it's like. He's not on the field.
He's not limiting himself to one thing. He's a football player, but he games. He likes to serve. He likes to do all these things, and that's so important. Because at first I was like, when I started Next Generation, I was like, okay, I gotta be all serious all the time, and it burned me out, dude. It burnt me out.
I think that there's a slightly beautiful hand in hand thing with starting a business, because I think it allows the road of self-discovery more.
Really does.
More than because you're presented with a choice. Right there, you're I could be Mr. Professional Next Gen, and you could have made that conscious choice and been 100%. You could have showed up in a suit,
Right.
You could have been that, but at the same time, it's man, but it makes you think who do I want to be?
Yeah, exactly.
And it raises the question: is that really me, or is that I deal with that a lot with WorthWhile, and I feel that it's it never stops,
right?
But it's not a bad thing,
right? And I feel just being yourself, you're it's going back to the connection thing, is because people are gonna have common interests as you and stuff, and that's gonna build a tighter bond. You know what I mean? It's not gonna have to be just straight business all the time. I collected football cards. I might post a picture of them or something, and I might meet a realtor that collects football cards too, and that just naturally bonds that trust and stuff. You know what I mean? So it's it's good to have multiple identities in a way. You know what I mean? Don't be just that one person. You know what I mean? Be who you are. If you like omelets with onions in it, show that stuff. Just show the world exactly who you are in all types of aspects. That's why when we were talking, I was post. Don't just post WorthWhile.
Media.
Post where your favorite, chicken spot. Post what you like to do on your off time and stuff, because people are going to see these and, oh, I like to kayak too. That's going to resonate with more than people just your message all the time.
That's literally what I've gotten to, is that once we had our conversation a couple weeks ago, I've started posting more. I don't know if you picked up on that.
No, I definitely noticed. Yeah, it's cool, man. I was happy for you.
But that really sparked in I was man, I've kind of lost that sight of myself more.
Yeah.
I really did get engulfed in not in a bad way. It wasn't a bad negative ego of WorthWhile, but there is a WorthWhile me. Yeah. And then there's me.
Yeah.
And it's I don't know.
Get that bug out of here. You're trying to chew on me.
But there's WorthWhile me that it's the same thing. It's you said, I feel I need to be professional Next Gen. It's and it's a double-edged sword, because everyone I meet, I'm trying to promote being you and being the best you. So it's I have to almost result to that. So I've learned it's kind of just I used to say it like this. I used to say that the brand's, I'm an extension of the brand.
Right.
And I used to roll with that for years. And then someone said something to me, and it flipped my mindset, and I was just whoa, brand's an extension of me.
Right.
It's
exactly.
my thoughts that are coming out. It's the way I talk to people, and you're tying it back to somocial media is I found myself only posting WorthWhile news.
Right. Exactly.
When something happens, or when I do a pop-up shop, or when something, an announcement happens or something like that. And it's a double-edged sword, because I'm limiting myself to only WorthWhile me, except for I like to play video games, I like to hang out with my friends, I like to not be WorthWhile me sometimes.
Yeah, you gotta disconnect from it sometimes, man.
Yeah. It's a learning process.
And it's just, and with the whole identity thing, it's hard because what social media has turned into, it's a lot of things can't be said, or it's not, of course we never have the intention to offend somebody or something, but just joking, or with the shadow banning that's going on, and like, not to get political at all, but if you do have an opinion on something, it's hard because it seems like your social media is only allowing you to put out one type of view.
Like,
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what's hard with my brand, is because like I do love America. Like I'm very pro America and stuff. And I see things that go on, and I want to give my opinion of it and where we stand with it, but it's like you can't, you know what I mean? Because it's gonna hurt your brand, it's gonna hurt your exposure.
See, but there is a flip thing to that. That you ever heard of Andy Frisella?
No.
He started a supplement company called First Form, and then he's the guy that he created the 75 Hard Challenge that I did.
Oh
the
yeah,
video
I
and
remember you
stuff
telling
like
me that.
But he's huge on like even like what we're talking about right there, but making the decision to voice those
Right.
things because like it will attract the people that are
Feel the same
identify-
way.
Yeah. So like it is like a double-edged like vibe with that, but I think it comes down to more so like it's internal, like it's
Yeah,
putting
like
yourself
what you really
out
stand
there,
for,
out
I
there.
guess. Yeah.
100%. And like I battle with that too with WorthWhile.
Yeah.
I mean, like a big one, smoking weed.
Yeah. Exactly.
I mean, like
yeah.
I'm a marijuana smoker, and it's
Right.
like I've tried to not try, but like I'll stop here and there, but stuff, but like I've enjoyed it, and I don't have any negative takeaways from it. So
Right.
like I don't know, but
And
that's
especially
a
where
huge
we're
thing.
below
like,
that Bible belt, you know what I mean? So it's hard to. I mean, I do feel like it's coming more normalized now, you know what I mean? But I get where you're coming from. Like it's hard to, like kind of, I guess, because like I mean, you could do a worthwhile like a weed, like a type of, cannabis type thing with it and make that mix, but being where we are and just people's views on it, but that goes back to us saying like being you is for your whole identity. So like just being who you are as a whole,
Yeah.
and what you believe in is what you believe in. So, I mean, it's crazy, dude. It's a crazy time to start a business, ain't it, dude? Like
It's a wormhole.
It's very scary, and you don't know what's coming next. With the markets going the way they're going and stuff, it's like, what do I do? Did I start it in bad time? How has your experience been with adjustments? Like, are you constantly like something that you thought was gonna go like, all right, I'm gonna do things like this? Did you have to pivot from that because of things that happened? And
You
stuff?
talking like COVID wise
Or
and
just
stuff like that?
yeah,
or just
COVID, anything. I mean, the pop-up shops. I mean, how did that work with the whole?
Honestly, I wasn't too affected by it. I wasn't doing a lot of pop-up shops anyway
Yeah.
during that time frame. I really ramped it up like when I left Trey, and that was like, all right, it was already past at that point.
We're on the tail end of it
Yeah.
now, but we got this monkeypox thing going on. Who knows what that's gonna spin into? But
I'd say though the biggest thing that happened for me, which I've noticed a lot of people more and more like talking random interactions, like where like I'm like passing somebody I seen like 2 years ago, and they're like, oh, on this huge spiritual wave, and like
Right.
very insightful on themselves. And when quarantine happened, I feel like that it presented a path for people to either like really freak out and be
Right.
like, I don't know what's happening. I need these like the government or whatever to tell me what to do. And then there's the other path of like, whoa, like this entire circle of
I'm
rotation
so glad
of
you
life.
just brought that up, because that group of people that need someone to tell them what to do in the direction. That's the group of people that I want to be a part of. You know what I mean? That's the community that I'm trying to get into.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I feel like it's been such, we've been, like, our generation mostly, it's been such, like there's been this formula to kind of be more dependent of someone else's word and like just go where I tell you to go type thing, and that's so beautiful you brought that up, because like my big goal for next generation is to breed people that make their own decision, be curious of things, don't just
Question.
be questionable, don't just go with what someone tells you, don't be a blind sheep. And that's that's something I'm seeing a lot more now. People are just going off of what someone else says, or you voted for them, I'm gonna vote for them too, just because this person.
Instead of doing like
do your
personal-
own research.
yeah.
It's gonna be a little bit harder, and you're gonna have to do a little bit more digging, but it's worth it in the end, because you know exactly what you're getting into, political, business, anything that you
Personal,
have interest in, yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, how many times did we put a rap song on with a group of friends because we just thought everyone likes rap? You know what I mean? Or it's like,
and then you bump some Red Hot Chili
yeah,
Peppers,
yeah. And when
like,
they
hey,
get out
yeah,
the car,
yeah.
you're listening to Taylor Swift or something. You're partying in the USA, whatever you get into. You know what I mean? I mean, I've done it.
Is that what you listen to on the way here?
Maybe somewhat. It gets me in the vibe. No, but just that example of just
How was the quarantine for you?
Quarantine for me and my business, I don't think quarantine was an issue. Oh, for me, yeah, it was definitely a time to like get a better understanding of myself. I was going through a lot at that time, like pre-quarantine.
Yeah.
It just led into that because getting out of high school, I wanted to like be a football star. You know what I mean? Like that's all I wanted to do. I wanted to go to college, go to the NFL. And when that didn't happen, I was like, shit, who am I now? Like, what do I do now?
Which is like what you were saying earlier, like you identify with that role before
right,
it even
exactly.
happened.
And that's why I don't want people to, be such. Just don't put yourself in a box.
Yeah.
Because if that doesn't, like for me, the football didn't work out. I was like, well, who am I? You know what I mean? I don't know what I like. I don't know anything.
Yeah.
All I was a football player. And like, it led to some depression. It led to some anxiety. It led to some. Not knowing what I was going to do with my life, so I just went the warehouse route. And, we got shut down, obviously, go back to that. But that's when I really just started picking up some books, looking into things and just trying to try different foods, I love disc golf now, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, dude. I
have to get out there one day.
Yeah, no, it's fun, dude.
Oh, yeah.
And, like, just doing things you don't normally do, doing things you think would be lame, doing all types of stuff like that. And that's what that led for me is just, getting on, and some things I didn't like, sushi is terrible. It tastes disgusting, but I tried it, but.
Is that what you tried it during quarantine?
Yes, I mean, I can't eat anything that swims in the water. It's just not happening,
No
bro.
Seafood?
No seafood for me, so.
Not even shrimp?
Not even shrimp, dude. I don't care. Someone says, oh, it's fried. No, it's terrible. It's disgusting.
Do you think it's the taste, or is it knowing it came from the ocean?
It's definitely the taste. Okay. It tastes terrible. It tastes like crap.
I can't get on that. I'm a seafood fan. I don't like some things that like. I've started to like oysters.
Oh God, I'm a texture guy too. No, slime, can't do the slime.
What about? I don't know if you ever had a char grilled oyster.
Hell no.
Okay.
Never, bro. If it's in the ocean,
like,
I'm out, bro. I'm out.
Southern Trade, they have phenomenal. I'm plugging them in right now, but phenomenal char grilled oysters that like pesto, Parmesan cheese, and you throw it on crackers and like cocktail sauce. You're not gonna convince me.
Yeah, I mean, no, absolutely not. But I'll just shake my head and be like, oh, okay, cool. Yeah.
So what kind of books though did you get into?
The very first one I got into was Pitch Anything by I think it's Olin Cliff. I think it's Olin Cliff, but it really broke down the fundamentals of like how to have a conversation. How does the brain, take on information, when to change your tone of voice, when to not beat a dead horse about one, because you want to get your point across, but you don't want to be like too heavy on it. You want to be able to move the conversation back and forth and keep someone's attention and stuff like that. But
so when you read that, it almost made you more aware of the way you think.
Yeah, it's like because I had growing up, I had a hard time like communicating and stuff like that, I mean, I was always the funny kid in school, don't get me wrong, but like just getting something across that I wanted to, someone to receive, it was very hard, and sometimes I'd be taken as a joke or, it just got off path or something, and I knew I wanted to get into business, and I knew I wanted to be the forefront of it, like I didn't want to just be, and which is no problem at all, just being, you can't have more chiefs than Indians, but I just know I wanted to be the chief of my thing. But, I wanted to learn how to communicate. I wanted to learn how to be, respected in a room full of people that are already established and things like that.
Fair. Quarantine for me, like, same with you, like, leading up to it, bro. Like, I was living in an apartment. I left that apartment, like, August, and then, like, COVID, like, you start hearing about the end of that year.
Right.
And then, like, it started 2020. Mm-hmm. I was really gung-ho wanting to move to Nashville. Like, I was looking at places to rent up there, and, like, it just didn't work out. Then I was like, I'm gonna buy a house. So like I was talking to Chase about buying a house here, and everything was going well with this one spot, and then I ended up getting denied because my debt to income ratio was too low for WorthWhile, and like I wasn't even really like heavily pushing it as a business then. It was kind of like a side thing.
Yeah.
So like I was like, man, but come full circle, you know, that happened for a reason because I ended up moving back home, and then my mom found out she had kidney cancer, and then I went through a breakup, and then COVID started, and quarantine started. And
just
I was
like back to back to back.
Yeah, I was like, what is this? Like, what? Because up until then, like, I was heavy into like men's groups for church, and like I was like very spiritual at that aspect, and like I've learned that there's a difference between religious and spiritual.
Yeah.
But like that's a whole nother conversation. But like that, you know, then I was like, man, everything's just on fire, and it's like, wait, what just happened? Like I was just firing all cylinders. It was like now in relationship, my mom just told me she had kidney cancer, and then quarantine starts.
Right.
And I was like, what is happening right now? But that like for one, I was grateful I was home, and like everything's great with her now, and like but just being there at that time frame, I was like, I'm supposed to be here right now. But I did a lot of reflecting.
Do you feel like that? But all of those sequence of events, you know, that could have either destroyed you or that could have made you who you are now. That's what people need to understand. It's like you're gonna be tested before you're blessed. You
100%.
know what I mean? So it's like there's two roads you can pretty much take from here. You can either go the victim route or you can take control of it. And I feel like that's what you've done. You know what I mean? Because you've made a lot of progress and stuff. And I can just tell, you know, you're vibing, bro. You got an energy to you, you know, and I believe in energy and stuff. I feel it in a room and stuff like that. So
it's a real thing,
know.
bro. We talked about that when we met the other week. It was like we're affected most by the things we can't see. Yeah. And I think I mentioned this several podcasts, but like it's true.
No, it's
true.
It is, man. So what's next for WorthWhile, man? What's going on? Like what's
and I know we briefly talked about it, but I think I'm gonna go on the road.
On the road?
Yeah.
How's that? How do you feel about that? Like
it's been something I've wanted to do since before WorthWhile started. Like when WorthWhile started, 2015. Like me and Benji at the time, like we were really wanting to or I was at least. I was like, if we're gonna push a brand, you know, this is 7 years ago, so Columbia wasn't nearly what it is now.
Yeah, it's grown so much.
So like then it's like we need to be in a big city, like we need to be in California, we need to be somewhere. And like I think the seed for what's unfolding now was planted then about thinking about like, man, if I go to California every day, I'm just gonna hand out cards and like, you know, that type of grind, like
a lot of exposure there too compared to Columbia.
Yeah, just every single day push it until something happens. And then just like as you know progressed, I ended up just focusing more and more here, and then like I started serving and started like realizing that I could do that here on a smaller scale.
Yeah.
But every single time like my lease gets close to being ending, or like
the idea pops up or something,
it reemerges, and something's always kept me here. Whether it's like someone reaching out about being a roommate or like a living situation like COVID, like something's always kept me here. And then now. I got 2 months left on the lease.
So now it's pretty much just you holding yourself back. There's nothing really.
Literally, and that's where it's like, you know, we talked the other week, and like that is when I first mentioned the idea, and then that honestly sparked like an internal battle. I'm like, am I running from an insecurity? Like, am I trying to like not be who I need to be? Right. And like run to go
taking that path of the unknown. You don't. I mean, do you know what really to expect right now? Probably not. No. You know, but that's the beautiful part about 100%. It. And like. That's what we were talking about. I was like, dude, you're gonna find out so much about yourself in this stage. You know, it's like it's a beautiful process, and that's what everyone needs to go through. 100%. You know,
but that's different for everybody.
Yeah, no, fair enough. Yeah.
Because like some people, you never want to travel. You know.
Exactly.
For me, I think it's like I've learned over the years while growing the brand that like. I almost like talking about energy. Like I find the energy. I'm not looking for it, but like if I go, you know, so I go have a drink at a bar in like Florida or something like that, like by myself, because I'm.
Is Florida the stop?
I'm going to Florida first.
So first Florida, okay. So I'm going with you.
Yeah, because I got fam. I got an uncle in Orlando. My grandma's in Orlando. Got another set of grandparents in Ocala, and then shout out Avery, but my boy Avery's in Key West, and I want to go visit him, but. That energy thing, bro. Like I learned it from like I don't even know. Like it's more so like learning the path that I was on. Like the more I dove into like the WorthWhile side of me, where it's like there's like a voice, or I realizing I inspire people, or realizing I have that connection to talk to anybody. Like that thing. I've like man, there's there's so many people that I'm not reaching. Like,
that you
by
want
being
to,
you.
and
Yeah,
you know, there's
yeah.
much so. You know, you're trying to take this thing to another level. It seems like, and that's gonna be awesome, man. I'm definitely gonna be a part of it. If I'm not with you, beside you, you know, you're gonna keep, you know,
We'll be on there, bro.
maybe a YouTube journal that we can all, you know,
100%.
join you with, because not
100%.
everyone's gonna be able to go, but you know, I want to be a part of it still.
And I think
So-
that'll force me to post more
Yeah.
about my journey, my
Yeah.
personal, like why I'm doing this, like who I'm gonna go stay with, like where I'm staying, like
Right.
that's all personal stuff versus like I want to do the podcast on the go.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, it'll be a different type of setup, different everything like
Yeah,
that.
I wish I
but,
was
like,
at the beach doing the podcast. We're in this
but
room.
but I feel like that's an intriguing thing too.
Yeah,
Like,
no, that's
imagine if
cool.
like your next week it's like, oh, well, he's on the beach, like interviewing this random like person that's
Yeah,
like,
that's cool, dude.
whoever they do, like that. But that's what I mean. Like I'll find those people that like I'm supposed to talk to. Like
Right,
I
yeah.
feel like I'm on a path.
The
And
universe is gonna put you in those
Exactly,
positions that you've
exactly.
been waiting for,
Exactly.
what you've needed. You
Yeah.
know?
So it's a scary thing, but at the same time, I think it's like relieving
Yeah.
to know that like once I made the decision that I'm like, all right, I'm gonna do this, like all this other stuff that I was worried about, that I thought that I needed to be worried about, kind of
Right.
just like fell. I was
Yeah.
like,
And I'm
now-
sure now that your mother's in a, you know, a healthy state, that you're more comfortable
oh yeah.
traveling, because
Oh,
God
yeah.
forbid you did that and
Yeah.
something you were too far
Oh,
away.
yeah, and that's
You
what
know,
I mean.
that
Like, I
probably
was trying to go then, and
Yeah.
it's like if I would have went and moved to Nashville, like I wouldn't have been home. You know,
Yeah,
like,
you wouldn't have been home as much. So
now's like the perfect time for me. Like I don't have anything. Like I'm not in a relationship. I don't have any children. I don't have any.
maybe
I'm not
this is the
dead,
timing
like-
that, you know, like say you would have went, that would been that the universe is probably telling you like this is not the time yet. I
Exactly.
know you want to. This is not the time yet. You know, and that's just, you know, it's just sticking with your gut, and you know, that's leading by example, doing something that traveling, you know, the path of uncertainty. You know, it's gonna be a big thing for you, man. It's
I'm
cool.
excited. I'm
And
excited.
it's cool to see where like WorthWhile, where it's going, and like you don't just sell T-shirts. You got the cups, you got, you know, you got the stickers, you got every, you know, you're reaching, you got the music, you know. So it's really cool. What made you do the music?
personal outlet.
Just that's
Yeah,
you just
yeah,
like making
personal
music.
outlet. Yep. So like that honestly goes into the double-edged. There's worthwhile me, and then there's me.
Yeah.
I went through another breakup, but like, what time was this frame? Like 2018,
Right.
end of 2018, I think. Yeah, end of 2018, I went through a breakup. We were together for 3.5 years, so like, it was a painful
the one.
It was a painful one.
Yeah.
But that like sparked this whole internal thing of like,
Give you that
who-
initial
who-
drive, probably,
yeah,
that you've
well,
been needing.
not even
or-
like it crumbled my world, because I started like, who am I? Like I'm trying to push this brand that says be you, but I don't know who I am. Like
Yeah,
I know
that's rough.
I was bartending at the time, and I need to be worthwhile me, and that was an outlet for me to have a voice of like, oh, this is what I'm saying, and like
Yeah.
this is my perspective of the brand and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
I don't really push it too much. It's more as like an outlet, but I am low key working on an album.
You gonna let me feature?
You want to feature? Bro? You got
Jordan
right,
the
bro?
Inspector on the feature. I got a couple
That could
bars.
be the name right there, bro. Jordan the Inspector. The Inspector.
Yeah, there we go.
The Inspector. No, bro. So you right?
No, God, no. Just kidding.
Oh, you got me hype. I was like,
I'll
you
be a
could,
hype
though.
man though. I can jig a little bit. I
feel
get
like,
out
I
there
feel
and
like
dance.
you can write, bro. I feel like it's
No,
in
man,
there.
no. I tried doing the rapping thing. It took me like 7 hours. I had like 3 bars, and it was
But were you trying to like, I'm gonna write about something, or were you writing about what you feel?
I don't know, dude.
'Cause I feel like if you picked it up now, well, how long ago was this?
I was probably like 17.
Bro, if you
I
pick-
think
if
I
you
was just
pick- if
goofing,
you
man.
picked
I don't know.
up a
I think
pen
I
now-
was just trying something.
Bro, you could be next gen. That could be your name.
Dude, next gen. I think we're on to something. We might be able to go on a world tour.
Hey, I'll be down, bro. I'll be down.
No, that's really cool, man. And like, so for you, like, obviously you're very comfortable with your brand and stuff, because it's like you wouldn't be bringing obviously another clothing. You're in the same. You're in the same, you know, demographics.
Yeah.
You know, I've drove by his thing. He's in Columbia too, so it's like, what feeling do you have about yourself that makes you okay with doing that? You know what I mean? Like with WorthWhile, are you just, you know, is that something that you just, like what I'm trying to say is like, it seems like you're very comfortable with yourself, you know what I mean, and your identity, and you're not worried about maybe, you know, drawing some more attention to another brand like that. So it's like,
I think with that specifically, it's the separation from the desire to make money and like
Right.
sell.
Yeah.
Like that there's a lot of double-edged swords, but like you obviously need to make money to, you know, grow a business
Yeah.
and to live and all this
Yeah.
stuff. But like at the end of the day, I like to say that this is a message before than a clothing brand, and
That's
like
awesome.
I want to have a platform for people to talk about who they are. So I mean, like
Yeah.
in that aspect, if I'm not focused on money, then what does it matter?
Yeah,
Like, I
and
want-
that's a
like-
good point, dude, because it's like you're never gonna be happy if you're doing something for the money. You know what I mean? And that's a big point that you just brought up, actually, because it's like, you know, putting all of your eggs into one basket as far as the point of pleasure being money, you're never gonna have enough money. There's always gonna be someone more rich than you. There's always gonna be someone that has the bigger car, the bigger this. You know, it's the purpose that you have, and I feel like that's what's kind of separated you from other things or other brands, is because like you're going off purpose, not necessarily. I mean, you like you said, you need the money to pay the bills, but that's not your end goal. I feel like, you know, what I mean, I feel like you have a bigger message to be, you know, sent to the world and stuff like that, and that's with me too. I'm not.
I was about to say, bro, it's just like you too.
Yeah,
The same
like
mindset
seriously,
with Next
because it's
Gen.
like
I mean,
next gen's not just about being a business owner and making money. It's about like making an impact, and we can do that. You know, you don't have to just own a business to do that. You know, and we can, you know, through our process, we can help people do their own impact, and we can all help each other. You know, especially with next gen. You know, I'm really focused on the youth, because I feel, you know, the youth is
it's
the
the most
future.
impactful, yeah.
You know what I mean?
100%.
And I want to focus on the people that are needing that help to get through something, because, you know, it's the roots that hold the tree. And, you know,
That's a nice phrase. I haven't
no,
heard that.
yeah, it's so true, because it's like the people that are at the bottom, you know, they're the most impactful as far as what happens, because they're the ones that are most influenced by people, maybe the shiny things, or, you know, people with power and status, you know what I mean? So it's like giving them that feeling like, you know, you can be this too, you know, you can be at the top of the tree. You know what I mean? We all started from the dirt, you know. Maybe not Kim Kardashian, but, you know, the majority of us, you know, we all started somewhere. So like that's a big thing, and that's why I love your brand a lot, man. It's really nice, and the jackets is like I got the like what is it called? What's the technical now? It's like desert sand with the orange. It's a really nice jacket though, man. You actually got nice stuff. Like it's not just some rinky dink someone telling you got good quality things. You know, like that's why I'm so supportive of you, dude, and that's why, you know, I want to see it get to where you have the vision for it, because it's like it's a brand that deserves it. You know what I mean?
I appreciate that, bro. I mean, it's time, and then doing the things like, and you're doing it right now.
Yeah.
But like for instance, like the spotlight, bro. Like Jeff, who was just on here, once like his was uploaded, like he was like going through and like watching a couple, and like he sent me a picture of a Snapchat of him watching one of the WorthWhile interviews from 2016. And I had Chase over to my house, and like we did one of these, but it wasn't a WorthWhile spotlight. It was called WorthWhile Interview.
Yeah.
And man, like,
Is it crazy to see like where
bro.
it's been,
Yeah.
or where it was to where it is
Yeah,
now?
like it was literally on my parents' back porch, and like I was like a twig. Like it was just, we looked like children. Like I had a buzz cut, and like.
But I feel like people love to see that. You know what I mean? Like that's something that, you know, social media has caused a lot of depression and stuff, because everyone's posting their highlights, you know what I mean? But like it takes a special person to post the struggle, you know, the whole process of it, you know,
transparent.
You know, not everything is just gonna start up and be super successful. You might have to close down a little bit, restart, you know, you might try something and completely fail, you know, and that's something that's really cool. Like you didn't completely fail, but like it started off as a small interview, and you said in the backyard or something.
Yeah, it was.
And now we're in this nice little spot. You know, it's pretty fancy.
But that gets into, and I don't think I've ever talked about this on the podcast, but like it started, and I got discouraged because like that happened, and then I did one with this dude Damien in town, well-known local musician around here, Hellacious Pipes. He can sing. He can sing.
He's got it. Maybe he might be able to
bro.
get on the What, you got the album, what you said? Or was
We've talked about doing something before, but like I don't like to call myself a musician. So I guess it's almost like what we're talking about. Like you don't feel like you're qualified in like
exactly.
that area. Like
am I allowed to label myself as this?
Yeah, like I could write, but but either way, so we did one, and like it was a phenomenal interview. It was at Cities that used to be opened, and like we got deep. Like we talked about where the music started from, like his younger time frame. Like it was a perfect interview. The sound wasn't recorded. And I was hurt because you can't recreate it. Like, you just can't.
It's not gonna be authentic at that point.
And then I did another one with my good friend Noah, and like there's no hard feelings towards it at all, but like we did one, and he's a musician out of Nashville, and he goes by Bedroom, and like he has his persona, and like his image is like they don't know who he is. Like he kind of moves in silence, like his persona's Bedroom, like
the mystery.
Yeah. So like we did an interview, and it was good quality content again. We were joking about like high school time frames, like stuff like that, and then I sent it to him, and he was like, honestly, I don't want it to be posted. I like to keep low key. So that was 2 back to back that I was just like, I stopped it, and I didn't do any more for a while, and like I don't know if like then like my time frame or my mindset was like I'm just not gonna do them again, or if it's just like I'm just not the time, but here we are, and like this is essentially what I wanted it to be. And
it led to something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's the thing that I want people to like get from this is like things are not gonna always go as planned. You know what I mean? That I just posted this the other day. It's like confusing high standards with perfection is gonna destroy you because not everything is gonna be perfect.
No.
You know what I mean? When someone
no
makes a painting, they don't want to do the exact perfect lines and everything, but it creates that opportunity for adjustment, and that's a big thing that's helped me. You know what I mean? Because I want everything to be perfect. I want everything to go as planned. Exactly what I thought. That's how I want it to go and stuff like that. But it's not the case. It's never, or not never, but it's usually not the case. You know what I mean? Things are gonna, forks in the road. Blow tire on the way to. I was there's this company called WorthWhile. I'm sorry. Modern Hippie, and eventually I was wanting to be a part of that, and on the way to our interview or whatever we were doing, he had caught a flat tire or something, and it was just like.
Really?
Yeah, it was like I was so beat up about it.
So how'd you find Modern Hippie? Because that was an inspiration
Instagram.
behind WorthWhile.
Yeah, Instagram, and it's like thinking then I was like, oh man, like I really wanted, like I'm like what now, but like thinking now, like
happened for a reason.
I'm so much happier in the position I'm in because I wouldn't have had as much ownership in that company. I would have only been a voice at the table, like. Now where I'm at is I own this, I have complete control of it, and I mean, call it what you want, but that's the position that I'm comfortable being in.
Yeah.
I want to be in complete control of this boat, where it's headed. If it sinks, it's on me.
Go
and
down
if
with
it
the
flourishes,
ship.
it's on me too, So it's like, it was something that happened that I thought was like so catastrophic, but it led
At
to
the
something
time?
so much, it led to something so much more beautiful, you know what I mean? Because like now the position I'm in, I'm so much happier being, in the role that I'm in. So.
And that perspective will carry you far because it goes back to, like you said, like there's the victim mentality or like what did you say the others?
The victim mentality or just taking control of the situation. You know what I mean?
Same terminology we say it every podcast, but I want people to know it's like it happened for you or it happened to you.
Yeah,
it's the same thing.
So
like,
true.
That happened for you. Okay, then what's the benefits from that? And that's essentially an optimistic mindset.
Yeah.
And like. I think at the root of that is I don't feel like a lot of people realize, I don't want to say a lot, but I feel like you're not told enough that you can choose how your mind operates and how
absolutely.
You perceive things.
Like we're just now, in perspective just now, but, mental, awareness has been so much more like thought of now, like people are taking more conscious effort to, understanding themselves and understanding trauma is a thing and all that. And, that's one big message I want to put out is like, you can turn your pain to, purpose, and you can use these things to fuel your fire or put it out, and, that's something that can really, it's a pivotal point in people's lives because we all go through something that is gonna, really just, kill your spirit and stuff like that, So it's that choice, like we were talking about, it's that choice of either, you know, making it a motivation or killing you, you know, just killing you is all your motivation, everything that you want to do, or, you know, all your thoughts that you had, all these plans that you had, you know, it's really pivotal. And some people need, you know, a group of people to lean on, and because it's obviously a lot easier to go through something when you know someone else is going through it too.
Yeah.
You know?
It's like that relatability. You know,
Yeah.
It's not just me.
Yeah.
I love what you said though. Turn your pain into purpose.
Yeah.
That's powerful.
Yeah, man. It's something that it's a big thing. It's a big message I want to get across. You know what I mean? Because it's like I've been through it. You know what I mean? I've been stuck in my bedroom for 7 months. You know, but it's really a choice to get up out that bed and, you know, clean up and go hit the world. You know what I mean?
Yeah. This kind of leads up perfect, but I've been asking people on the spotlight, like, if you can go back to any age, time frame, and give yourself advice, what would it be, and what age would it be?
Man, so probably when the football thing didn't work out, because that was my biggest downturn of life. And
Were you probably like 17, 18?
yeah, it was after high school. Man, if I could go back, I would probably tell myself, you know, don't take life so serious. You know what I mean? Like, things happen, you know, it's not the end of the world. Learn to pivot, learn to take that emotion and that energy and put it into something else. You know what I mean? Don't just stay stuck in a rut. Even if you're smooth, even if you're making small progress, it's still progress. You know what I mean? Even if you run or you walk, you're still moving forward. But
100%.
if you keep yourself in this dark place and stay stuck, then you're gonna be in one. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna be stuck in this one dark hole, and you're gonna have to pull yourself out.
Yeah.
You know, so just don't be discouraged off of you know, hardships and things like that, for sure.
You said don't take things in life so serious. That, I don't know what connection it had in my brain, but I just finished reading this book, The Obstacle is the Way, by Ryan Holiday. Shout out Kevin, the guy that was on the second podcast, for giving me that book. But the last chapter, I was reading it last night, and it was talking about meditating on your mortality and the fact that we are going to die.
Yeah.
And like that is the only true certain thing about our life.
That and taxes.
Like that and taxes, 100%. And like that could be, there's beauty that can be found in that. Like, you know, I used to be terrified of death when I was younger. Like I used to like not be able to sleep and like go sleep in front of my parents' door because I didn't want to go to sleep at night because I was scared to die. And I feel like obviously if I was presented with like something happening right now, like I'm like something's happening right now, I'm about to die, like there might be fear in that, but like the overall picture of it, like the concept of saying like you meditate on it, use that as fuel, that like I am going to die, like make this day worthwhile,
exactly.
make this minute worth it, make this
not pushing things
second,
off till tomorrow. Like that's a big thing that I had to deal with is, you know, like if you can take care of today, do it today. Don't wait for tomorrow. One thing that really happened in my life that gave me a different perspective was, you know, my grandfather, which, you know, he was a real big staple in my life as far as, you know, someone to lean on as a male figure. And, you know, I got a call one night and he was on his deathbed, and my grandmother said, hey, you might want to come see him because you might not make it in the morning. And, you know, I put it off, and, you know, basically I got a call 2 hours later. The plan was to go see him in the morning, obviously, but, you know, I got a call 2 hours later saying he didn't make it, and that was probably one of my bigger regrets in my life because I was only 30 minutes away. So it's like, you know, the biggest thing I got from that was putting things off till tomorrow or pushing things back can really come back to haunt you, you know what I mean? And like, that then and there is what shifted my mind to like, you know, if I can do it today, I'm going to do it today. You know what I mean? Whether being a big thing or a small thing. And it's like so important to take action now, you know what I mean? And that's something that a lot of people need to understand. It's like, how many people say they're going to go to college, you know, or like they take that gap year and then they just keep pushing it off, you know, it's like that can really affect your growth or affect opportunities, you know what I mean?
How long, well, first thank you for sharing that because that's meant as personal, and like I feel like it was a pivotal moment in your life, like you said. How far after that happened did you realize like you could take more advantage of your time? Obviously, there was pain that came with that. Like you said earlier, pain equals growth, pain equals purpose. Like, how long did that happen before it shifted?
It really, like, the first couple months, it was just being pissed off at myself. You know what I mean? I had so much regret, I had so much anger towards myself. So, you know, it took, you know, the crying, it took the, you know, the mental breakdowns, it took all of that for me. But after the storm has passed, it kind of made me realize, you know, like we were saying, you know, taking an experience and turning it into a lesson, you know. And it was like, I was like, man, what could I have done? You know what I mean? Like, obviously I could have went right then, but it was like, okay, I can apply this to the rest of my life now. You know what I mean? Like, you've got to do something, or you want to do something, go ahead and do it. Go ahead and apply. Go ahead and go see that family member. Go do something and don't find a reason to push it off, you know. And it took me probably like 6 months to be like getting over the guilt, because I felt a tremendous amount of guilt, you know what I mean? Because he was such an important person in my life. He's done so many great things for my mom. Because, you know, I think, don't quote me on it, but like, I think it was around 7 or 8 they divorced, and she had nowhere to go, you know. And he brought us in, you know. He was that figure in our life. So it was like, man, you couldn't have just went, you know what I mean? Like that, I went through that, and that took a while, dude. So, you know, it's so important for people to know. Take an action now, you know. Don't sit back and wait, because something catastrophic can happen, or an opportunity that you've been waiting on could slip right through you, you know.
100%. You got to turn the negative into positive, and I feel like you did that.
Yeah.
I commend you on that, bro.
Thanks, man.
For real. Well, thank you for sharing that.
Dude, thanks for having me here, man. It's been awesome.
Before we go,
yeah, I want to do a little live review here.
You gotta plug yourself in.
Yeah, I'll plug myself in, but I want to do the shirt review real quick. Yeah. See, what's really cool about your brand is like the material is actually really nice. Like, it's not just some rinky dink, you know what I mean? It's actually a nice.
I did pay him to say this.
I don't want to sound like a diss, but I was like, I was like, maybe this is just some like Gildan type stuff. No, this is good stuff.
Tagged up.
Man. But let's plug myself in now.
Yeah,
We're wrapping it up. Yeah, so my name is Jordan Weidle. Like I said, I'm a licensed, insured, and certified home inspector in the Middle Tennessee area. I perform residential inspections, modular homes, manufactured homes. You know, just recently with how the market's been moving, how fast it's been moving, I've been doing showing inspections. So I'll go with you and your realtor when you go to look at the house initially and do the inspection right there on the spot. But just call me anytime, 615-997-0633. And if you want to do contactless scheduling, you can go to nxtgentn.com. Fill out the quick little form, and I'll be happy to get in touch with you and help you any way I can.
Nice, you heard it.
Oh yeah, the Instagram, NXTGEN Inspections. I post some funny clips. I post some educational stuff.
And TikTok, you're on.
I'm on the TikTok too. Yeah. Same thing. NXTGEN Inspections.
Sorry, it was the worst time to take a walk. No, for real. Thank you again.
No,
bro.
dude, it's
Thanks
awesome opportunity, man. I'm so happy to see where this is headed.
Thank you. And like we said, never forget that you are worth it, and always strive to be the best you can be. Thank you for tuning into this week's WorthWhile Spotlight. Our goal is to motivate people to become the best version of themselves possible through the power of storytelling. Our stories are written by the things that we experienced growing up, and these experiences, negative and positive, shape who we are and what we stand for. The beautiful thing about your story is that you get to decide how it's told. So as a diamond in the rough of life, hang tight and let your light shine bright.